button on this side. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the 5Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Mr. Martin115, joined by my former lovely dance partner, Mr. Carmo. He's actually down here on the YouTube side. But hello!
I'm down nowhere. No, I'm down nowhere.
He's down the bottom.
How are we doing, everybody? Welcome back for another week.
And not just any week, it's a very special week here because, you know, we've been on great interviews. So we went all the way to From the Depths and got not the best person that From the Depths has, not the second best person that From the Depths has. He's the owner. It's Emmet. He's back.
I'd love to throw in that song, do you know what I mean? Yes, it pays to be the boss. Doodle-oo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Oh, God. I am alive and well and very happy to be back. Thesis is submitted, so I'm free to be back all the time now. I was about to sound From the Depths, but here, right here on the 5Marks.
Yeah, don't you bring in that podcast to here. What was the last episode you were on?
It was the same interview we kicked off the Mental Health Awareness Month.
It wasn't that long ago, you know.
No, that was a fucking great. Obviously, now this month, I'm sure you're all looking at us going, guys, thought this was Mental Health Month. What the hell happened? It's show week, so everyone's kind of busy. We are going to come back. We have something big, something really cool planned for the fourth and final episode of Sem's mental health awareness kind of series. So do watch out for that one. Trust me, it's going to be a fun interview. But so we've decided with the show week this week, we have OTT presenting the tag team tournament in Dublin and Belfast on Saturday, Sunday. We're going to do some predictions for the whole tournament. We're going to go through the matches, pick who we think is going to win the entire tournament. But also, before the tag tournament, we had the Race to the Top tournament that we attended. You can see us on the OTT on demand, sitting in the front row by the camera, and all the times that me and Emmet are doing something stupid.
And I was getting very drunk throughout.
He was. He'd always come back with... He'd always come back with like 2 beers, and then he ended up like having one spill thanks to our good old friend Mr. Kean Noonan.
I swear to God, that'll be my debut match now. F5 on the entrance ramp to Kean Noonan. Kean seemed sound. I didn't mind. He was doing his job, and I was in the way. To be fair, like, do you know what I mean? That was very early on in the show, actually.
I think it was literally at the injury spot. I think was it? We got moved, and like. You just would not move, and so he ended up hitting your drink on accident.
No, it wasn't. Like, do you know what it was? Is because like where we were was like near the corner of that section, but not at the corner. So like maybe in a gobshite, I'm there holding 2 beers, just waddling like a penguin, and I can't move because we're all congested. And then just fucking bang, splat, and I looked down and I was just like, "That's €3.58 worth of beer on that floor. Someone's drinking this beer." Like, I just started looking around.
He's just on the floor, just licking it off it. Oh, I can taste the wrestler's sweat as well.
Oh,
you're lucky Charlie Sterling wasn't there. He probably would have fucked that point.
Oh, I wish Charlie was there.
I was actually thinking about this recently. So, like, I can say this here, but I've been, like, you know, late to the party with OTT since we started the podcast, and we're going back watching all the shows, man. And I get so afraid when I see Charlie come out because I'm just kind of like, oh my God, like, I know if he's back in time for the 9th anniversary show, we'll probably have front row tickets for it, knowing us. And man, it would be my luck. I'd be there, I'd be gasping. I'm like, oh, here we go, and a lovely sip of this, grab it, fuck it up. I'd probably run into the ring, ruin the whole show, pulling him by the hair. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Not in front of Charlie, man. He'd rip every one of us apart. Like.
Oh, he'd kick the shit out of me. He would kick the shit out of me. Not a doubt about it. Like
it will turn into like when we did the video with Liam Royale, where I'm just looking at camera like, should we go help him? No, I don't think we should.
Oh, he's a fucking scary fucker, man. Like, I'm not like, you know, all the lads are intimidating. But I said it on the last episode that we did. I think the last recap episode we did, and he scared the shit out of me, man. He was another one I was afraid of. Say it again.
Did anybody watch the new Paddy Power ad?
Yeah, no. He's in it.
No way.
So it's about going after like, you know, the fucking Twitter. We were literally just talking about this with fucking Joe. Like the people who just talk shit on Twitter. And like just you know what I mean? Like, oh, this person's shit, I kicked their ass. So they're like, oh, this guy says that the WWE is fake and he'll kick their arse. Come up to his door and it's Liam Royale. Just looks like, I'll delete the tweet. They did a load of them. There was like boxing. It was fucking brilliant, Dad. Brilliant.
Genuinely, if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. Like,
I'll watch it as soon as we're done this. That sounds absolutely fucking excellent.
I will say I was rightly expecting to be like proper character, and just like when he's stood in the ring and he's doing nothing, he just does that fucking like little weird scream, just like ah! Ah! Come on! He's gonna listen to this now, like I'm fucking definitely ripping their fucking ears off now.
I do wonder would he actually ever come on? Like, I don't know. I would probably have to wear huggies for that one.
The next show we go to, and he happens to be there. Be my guest. Go ask him.
I'm afraid of him, so that's not happening. Like,
I
was just gonna say, like, I'm a tall guy. I'm 6'1", and he's like nearly a foot taller than me. Like, he's a big fucker. I'm very, very careful about the length of size in shorts that I wear, right? Because I'm afraid of them being short shorts. He was wearing short shorts when he walked into the show that day, right? And I would normally slag someone for that. I nearly shat myself seeing him in the short shorts. Like, he could have taken those things and choked me out with them. Do you know what I mean? And I would not contest it. I would probably be paralyzed with fear. Like, I am deathly afraid of Liam Royale. So I am not going to be the surprise member of that new weekend.
Imagine he came on the podcast, right? We just started off. Well, Liam, what's the crack? You gotta go. Well, we're just going to click record now. Perfect. Oh, welcome to the 5Marks. He just hangs up.
I'd upload it.
You'd have to. It'd be excellent. It'd be excellent.
That'd be the Kevin sex tape episode. Then it's like, we're stuck for content this week now. So. Oh God, on a bike.
We're never doing that. Like, we're nearly a year on. Like, it was yesterday. So I was recording it's the 25th, the 24th. So yesterday, 11 months ago, we started the podcast, and we still haven't let Kevin do what he wants to do. No.
Yeah. Yes. Keep an eye on the anniversary show, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm going to say on that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the editor, and I will not be adding that to the video.
But I'd love to do.
But the audio version.
But imagine at the end, right? So like the outro music plays, and at the end it's just Kevin, like the FX of him walking into the room. They finally let me do the porn episode, and then just hit the music again.
Grabs his pants and is just instantly just.
We have to decide this now. Is Kevin going to record a porno, or is he going through the best wrestling porn?
Kevin's going to do what Kevin thinks is best.
He's going to review a few wrestling related pornos that we will. Well, I'm not going to source them for him. I'm not going to sit down on the internet and look at these.
Yeah, Kevin, that one's good. Go for that one.
But you know, I can actually hear him doing commentary for it. Like, you know, I was like, "What a maneuver!"
No, I could see him doing this because he's been doing it all week in work. Just like, holy fuck!
What'd be hilarious? What'd be hilarious if we dress him up in a suit and put him on a nice fancy chair beside a fireplace or something, just to record a video of him going,
"Yes,
that's porno number 1."
Welcome to Kevin's Watch Mojo Top 10.
Do you remember Jericho's list of 1,000 holds?
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Kevin.
Yeah.
His list of 1,000 blows.
Back to the next episode. 1,107. China.
The very next episode will be like, ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for what you had to witness. It was completely Emmett's idea. In fact, he's the one that was behind the camera.
Oh my God! Do you know what the worst part is about this? To peel something behind the scenes for the listeners a small bit. The very first time that all of us met together after the idea of the podcast came together, that was the date that happened. Like, and I'm not even messing. I knew, like, I had a good feeling about this podcast and everything like that, but with how I was in pain, crying, laughing over that. Like, the lads, we were having a few pints and eating a bit of food. I couldn't eat my food. Like, I was literally holding my stomach laughing. Like, oh, it was so stupid. Like,
I hadn't even recorded an episode. Like,
no,
I hadn't seen it.
First day I'd ever met Carmo, Kevin came along with us, and the rest, they say, is history.
I don't
Yeah.
even think there was supposed to be 5 when that.
No, it's
I think
supposed
Kevin
to.
just
No,
came.
there wasn't.
Emmett,
There wasn't.
you can hear all about it in 4 weeks.
On the anniversary episode,
Yeah,
a special
so-
8-hour episode of the podcast.
Just beat everyone's record. Like you'll never fucking catch up.
Yeah, we're just going to finish talking after an hour and a half and just keep the timer on for like a second past Sam's interview.
But I guess we'll hop into what we came here to talk about, and that is one, the OTT race to the top, and that whole show, which was absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. I think it's the first was it the first OTT show you've been to, man? No, you went to Scrapper Mania, so it's the first not massive one.
It was the first complex one I've been to, and I really, really liked the complex
I
as
like
a
the
venue.
complex.
It's really nice. Now, my only thing, it's perfect for a wrestling venue, to be fair, because it is so wide. Man, I was so nervous trying to find the toilets, like in the middle of the show when spots are happening. I'm just like, oh my god, it would be me now that would walk past and get like an accidental suicide dive into like a row of children or something like. You know what I mean?
I will say, I remember there was a moment where you were gone for fucking ages, and Carmo and Mike got up and we're just like, yeah, we're gonna go find him.
Oh, but you know what that was? There was a line for the toilet about 3 matches in, and oh my Christ, like this. My only complaints about the venue is there should probably be another set of bathrooms inside there because like it just took forever. Like if you needed to go to the urinal, like do you know what I mean? You'd be waiting about 15 minutes. Like I missed a lot of the Renzo LJ match, which I missed. I missed a bit of the entrance too, which I was fucking raging. I could just hear the keys starting to.
No. But you had your moment at Scrapper Mania, and we've got the photo now to the biggest.
Oh, I'm gonna get that printed and signed before LJ goes stateside.
Oh, you have to.
100%.
It's a good fucking photo as well. There's you fucking pointing at LJ, just like, yeah.
And the gym was showing off at the time. Got the muscles in the photo, chest out with finger. I'm just like, fucking look at that boy off there now. Is he doing his mother proud?
Mama Casey's proud.
Oh god.
But no, that's where it's well for people. That's where the so we got to the venue. What?
An hour before?
It was about, I feel like it was about 40, 45 minutes before, yeah.
And that's where like we had just arrived. We were still aside, and all of a sudden we just fucking hear this massive bang. And I was like, "What the fuck was that?" And Emmet goes, "That was Liam Royale." Just what a dick.
And this is why I'm afraid of him.
It just goes, "What a dick."
Because I remember like watching the Belfast post Scrapper show and just thinking, oh man, I was like, this is going to be my next Sammy now. This is going to be the heel that I absolutely love. And then him storming through in the short shorts, I was just like, oh, I could feel my bowels moving when it happened. I was like, oh, like,
oh, I'm so dead. I'm fucked.
I have to go home.
Although after that, now in fairness, I have to kind of tell this because it was quite funny. Just where Liam Royale went in, there's like a little side door just along the wall that we were kind of standing on by the entrance. And just as we were standing there, Emmett was standing there, leaned up against the wall, happy out and everything like that. And all you heard was splat. I mean, centimeters away from getting
Not
shit
even
on.
centimeter. Like so, just for context, like a bird took a shit like beside Emmet, but like we're not joking. Yeah. This was the luckiest shit ever. It was so fucking close to hitting him. I remember he was looking down, just like, oh, okay. Oh, sure, you missed me anyways.
It was, do you know what? I have a bad tendency for the OTT shows that there's normally a big gig on the night before. And I can't remember what was on the night before the Race to the Top show. But I remember like that whole journey I was hungover the same as the way to Scrapper. And I just thought to myself, why do I keep doing this to myself? It wasn't until like 5 minutes after the bird shot like landed beside me, I took a step to the side and looked and I was just like, oh, a bird shot there. And you were like, what did you think we were pointing at?
So that's the Race to the Top review. But the whole show,
was a good time.
The show as a whole was great. So for people that actually didn't pay attention to Race to the Top and stuff like that, it was a one-night tournament to determine the number one contender for Mr. Semidi's OTT World Championship. and it was fucking unbelievable, especially because it started off with a fucking bang. Before we get to that, just for people to know that the brackets were Leighton Buzzard versus Leon Slater, Ricky Knight Jr. versus Sean Maxagidis, LJ Cleary versus Lorenzo Rose, and the debuting Callum Newman versus O'Malley. So, Emmet, because this is the moment that you literally saw hearts in your eyes, want to talk about the first match of the show?
That was
Leighton
Leighton's match.
Buzzard versus Leon Slater.
What a match! Two of the best in the UK. My first time seeing Leighton in person, and like, I'd watched his match at Big Demo, and I remember just being like, yeah, this guy's solid and everything like that. But like, man, like I've said it to the lads. I've obviously said it to you. Like, after that show, just the entrance, man. As soon as the boom, 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 I was just like, oh my fucking god! It was an amazing match. I'm a big mark for Leon Slater as well. I think he's incredible. I know that like recently him and man like Darius just picked up the tag team belts. I don't know, is that what was
One
that
PW.
1PW? Yes, that's it. But man, Leighton is like my new favorite wrestler at the moment, man. And I'm delighted. Like I'm 50-50 because I've been watching a lot of his ICW stuff the last month or so since Road to the Top. It was bittersweet hearing that he kind of parted ways with him he said, just for now anyway, like, you know what I mean? But it's great for us because from the looks of things, he shared the upcoming OTT schedule for the remainder of the year. Is El Capitan going to challenge Sammy D at some point for the OTT World Heavyweight Championship? I very much think so. I have a feeling that could be our 9th anniversary main event in Dublin after something that happens later on in the show and stuff like that. But the match as a whole was absolutely fantastic. I couldn't predict the outcome of it because both of them are quite like, you know, big up and coming names in the UK scene, but like, you know, what they did with Leighton on the day throughout the show, which we'll get into in a small bit and everything like that, was phenomenal. They made him look like an absolute star throughout, like, you know what I mean?
Oh, fucking, it was a brilliant opener. I think like the right match to go. And as you said, you really couldn't call who was going to win there. Because, you know, they're like Leon is being built to someone fucking on the top of the card versus Leighton Buzzard, who a lot of people wanted over on OTT. He came back, and the two of them put on a flipping. I watched that pack even on demand, and it's still as good.
Did you notice the moment at during Leighton's entrance actually with us and Leon, where like Leon is there during like I can't remember, is it Beethoven's 8th that's playing, and like he's just there just going like this, and he's literally facing us, and you can see us just be awkward.
I love the fact that he does it though. He does it before everyone's entrance. Like, it's brilliant.
Just one thing I'll say that the cameras don't do justice is how fast Leon Slater is when he does his entrance and he's running off the ropes and he does that spin. How fast and how loud that part of the fucking entrance is.
I kept thinking he was like, with the momentum, that he was going to fucking recoil the ring, like, because it was going up over the momentum of it. I was sitting there just being like, you know, I was like, oh my god, I was like, he's going to go fucking flying out of this now if he doesn't slow down.
But the end result of that one, El Capitan advanced to the semifinals of the tournament after beating Leon Slater again. And the thing is, I love after this, watching it back on demand, is that they've started doing pre-match promos. Post-match promos. I really liked it. I thought that's something Irish wrestling was missing.
And it really, really helps with the format and watching it back. And it kind of gives you an incentive too as a fan to watch it back after the fact. Yeah. Like if you're not there in person, there were storyline elements to it. Like, you know, we've been kind of fan theorying it for the last few months, but like it's looking like they're going to be doing, I won't get into too much now because we're a bit early on, but like it looks like they're going to be doing something with LJ and Renzo for the next few months. And that you'd only really guess that from seeing the post-match interview thing. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I knew exactly what was happening at the time. The next match was a bit of a two-part. Ricky Knight Jr. returning to OTT to take on Sean Maxagidis. Mr. Carmo.
Yeah, 100%. So it actually started off as a really, really good match. Maxer and Ricky Knight were kind of going back and forward, and it was actually really entertaining. It was kind of, same as the last match that we talked about. It was kind of like, oh, I don't really know who's actually going to go over here, but unfortunately Maxer got an ankle injury, which set him out. And after a bit of kind of confusion, even as we were there, like we didn't have a clue what was going on. We didn't know if he was properly injured or whatever. Ricky Knight Jr. stepped back into the ring and he called it out. Matthew Bullet Smith, who was also standing at ringside with Sean Maxwell. Bullet Smith walked into the ring, low blow, 1, 2, 3, match was over, and I can tell you, did we pop? My God, we roared the place out. I think we were the only people in the building to pop, but like it was brilliant.
I don't know
Brilliant.
if I posted it on our feed. I know I'm pretty sure I did it on the story, but fucking hell, like I have the video on the PC now. I fucking roared when he got he got the fucking 1, 2, 3. It was fucking brilliant. But if you go back and watch that as well, and you actually see where it happened, I think it was a simple like drop kick or something in the corner, like around drop kick in the corner,
So, yeah.
and he just landed on his foot and just, oh, it was nasty. But yeah, it's not gonna stop the boys. Boys are going up this weekend. We'll talk about more of that later. So, with that said, the semifinals then became Leighton Buzzard versus Matthew Bullet Smith. And then we got to the second side. And I believe the next match then was Omari versus Callum Newman. Which, obviously, I'd never seen Callum's work before this. But fucking hell, those two, even though I think it was like 2 mishaps, which even then they didn't really take anything from the match at all. Yeah, I feel like they still added to it. Fucking solid match. These two bastards just flying at each other. Like, Jesus. Like, I'm actually excited to see Callum again now this weekend. But Omari picking up the win, which I didn't actually expect. I thought Callum was going to go over just for the fact that Omari just dropped the title. But the two put on an absolutely amazing match. I'd love to run it back again. Maybe in the National Stadium. Just saying, joke, Bray. But fucking solid match. Omari advanced on. And then we get...
I have to tell a quick story about Omari's entrance just before you continue. So Mike was with us for the show from the Dropmake Wrestling lads. We were kind of sitting right in front of the stage, as it will. So we were kind of like here. The stage was kind of like here. Fine. Just as Omari made his entrance, Mike just turned around and flipped him off. You can actually see it in the VOD. But Omari just looked at him as he flipped him off, and he goes, "What the fuck? How are you flipping me off? Like, what did I do?" Like, and then just kind of carried on around there. It was excellent. Like, it was perfect.
Oh man, I love him. I love Omari so much, man. I swear to God.
Like, I still love the interaction I had with him at the fan fest, where he could see the draw T-shirt under the jumper. He just goes, "Yeah, I'm just gonna zip that up. Yeah, there we go. Thanks." I was like, I know. I gotta rep my boys. The draw on top.
I'm gonna get that custom T-shirt made for the next OTG show I'm at. Where, do you know, like the Austin 316 fund? It's gonna be that in a black shirt, but it's just gonna say, "I still like Omari."
Do it. That will get you the biggest fucking pop of that night from Omari. I guarantee you.
I'll do it, man. I won't be at the show now this weekend, but I will be at the one. Oh God, all the dates were announced. Can't think. If there is one in June, I'll be at the one in June, 100%.
I really want to go to
the.
I know. Shit, I was gonna say. I know that they're doing a show in the KFRC, I think it's called. I really want to go to that because I'm pretty sure that's the building where like you'd Walter Devlin, all the fucking big all the other big matches that I cannot talk about at this time. I'd like to just because it looks like a nice wrestling venue as well. I think it's as much as it's like a hall. It still looks really nice on camera. No, I could be
huge as well.
I could be dead wrong, and the person listening now could be like, "That's not where they had all those matches." But I don't know. I wasn't watching at that time. But moving on then to Emmett's favorite match of the night. LJ Cleary versus Renzo Rose. This match actually went on a lot longer than I thought it was. Watching it back, I thought it was a 5-minute count out. It's not. It actually goes on for a while. I felt like 5 minutes in the arena.
Yeah, it flew really quick, but I think the reason for it, like thinking back on it, was that like I think it was just the pacing of it was so good because like it was one of those ones that like beforehand we thought that we could all call, like, you know what I mean? So like when there was a near fall here and a near fall there, like there was a lot of points watching it in real time that we were kind of like, oh my God, it's Renzo going over, like, do you know what I mean? it was I'd say now on the night it was one of my favorite matches and everything like that. Watching it back now, there's another match that's coming on later that I preferred a lot more. Just watching it back, it was a bit different in person and stuff like that. But I'm adamant, man, they're going to have LJ on a losing streak. I've said this in the group chat. This is my big fan theory now going on for the rest of the year. I really see LJ going on a losing streak, and it's Scrapper title versus career LJ challenging Sammy D. And it won't be like a heel thing. It'll just be like LJ will be like, if I'm not the best, I don't deserve to be here. And if I can't beat you, then I shouldn't be here. And then we'll all be on the edge of our seats. We'll all be crying on October 25th, and it'll be a good time.
Emmett grabs us all in again when the big moment comes.
Pops so fucking hard for that, man, when Sammy was about to win. Oh, I never thought it would. Honestly, if you went back to me on day one when we started this and you told me you're going to lose your life when someone wins the Irish Heavyweight Championship, like, I'd be like, yeah, we'll wait and see. And then March happened.
Yeah.
So obviously, for people that don't know, it came to a double count out after Renzo grabbed LJ's legs, stopping him from going into the ring, which was met with loads of boos. Loads and loads of boos. Crowd were not happy. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it too much. You know, obviously at the time we didn't know what was going on in terms of storyline wise. I was more concerned about I thought, because the way the brackets look, I thought that the double count out meant that Matthew moved to the finals. So I was like, yes, Matthew's in the fucking finals. Let's go. And obviously to find out then it wasn't, I was very disappointed. But then like you watch it back, makes complete storyline sense. Renzo knew there was no chance he'd beat the count. And as he says, he wants to make LJ's life a living hell. If if Renzo couldn't win, LJ wasn't gonna win. So made perfect storyline sense afterwards.
Yeah, the only thing that I thought when watching the match live was that it didn't make sense why LJ wasn't getting back into the ring. Because you just couldn't see that Renzo was holding the leg. Watching it back on the VOD made total sense.
He was actually just grabbed by some ghost, just trying to crawl back in. Little Rob actually got off his chair and just pulled him by the legs.
I was going to say, could you imagine, like, if we all, before the VOD came out, we thought it was just a fan that did it, like, you know what I mean? You have to sign this. You have to, man, would you fuck off?
Please, my son needs it. I beg. So, with the double count out, that meant Omari advanced straight to the finals of the Race to Top tournament. And I believe after the first round matches, we were met with the women's title match, I think it was.
Yep, which had a very strange start to it.
It did indeed. Mr. Carmo, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so obviously Lizzie Evo, I believe is her name. Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah.
Yep.
She made her entrance. Perfect. Great to see her in OTT. It's her first time. She's a fantastic wrestler. Fantastic. And obviously Martina made her entrance. Epic entrance as it is. Epic entrance. And just as she stood at the entrance after doing the loop with the ring, I believe it was the Nita Vaughan.
It was a Nita Vaughan, but before you continue on, could you please just sing her song for me, thanks? Come on.
You want me?
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Go on. What's her entrance theme song?
When did that? I thought you wanted me to do Martinez.
No.
Anita Vaughan's theme song. Oh man, it's actually lovely, but like fucking, I hate that song so much. It's like, I've got the Vaseline, I've got the Maybelline, I've got the propane. It's like a thing we do a thing we did in work all the time. Like I used to get so vexed by that song. I don't know what it is like. Because Anita's a savage fucking talent. Like that song annoys the fucking heart and soul out of me. I don't know what it is. You know what it reminds me of the shop glitzy bits. That's why I don't like it. It's like, so you go in to buy like an earring or something, and this would be blaring over the speaker, and you just be like, "Oh, get me out of here!" Like,
continue, Mr. Carmel. I just had to do that. That's my funny bit.
You're good. So obviously Anita attacks Session Mark couldn't beat, but it turned out there was a sneaky plan behind Anita's attack, and out came Debbie Keitel, which led up to a Debbie Keitel Lizzie Evo match, which actually was a pretty good match. There was a good bit of back and forth between them. But just before the finish kind of came, Session Mark came back out and she obviously attacked Debbie Keitel, leading up to a rematch at the next show between Session Mark and Lizzie Evo, and I believe at the Belfast show then it's Debbie Keitel and Lizzie Evo. But it's also an interesting pairing between Anita Vaughan and Debbie.
It is. And one, I didn't even expect her to have a pairing. Do you know? But it gives Anita Vaughn something to do in OTT.
100%, yeah. Like at the, I believe it was the Road to Scrapper show. It was obviously Anita, and I think it was I can't remember her name. I slipped me at the moment. Versus Debbie Coutella and Seshamon. So it was kind of a bit weird to kind of see them now together, especially after that kind of tag match against each other. But yeah, I like it. I like it. I very much like it.
So obviously then with the DQ, I think that was the only no it wasn't. So we had a promo of it's Colin August Lynch.
Con Kelly,
Colin August Lynch and CBL, with Con being absolutely done with their BS, coming out, stating open challenge, and of course, the big bad Liam Royale comes out with J Money by his side. And J Money's a hell of a fucking promo person.
Oh my god, yeah. Brilliant.
So J Money comes out, pretty much tells them that, you know, it's gonna be on Liam's time. He doesn't get paid by the hour. So he comes out. It seemed like it was gonna be one big massive squash. If I remember correctly, he did get some offense in there, but obviously Liam quickly shut it down. And then I think there must have been like 4 power bombs in total to him, which God bless you for taking that many fucking power bombs. Kelly August Lynch is the tag name. I was trying to think there.
Kelly August Lynch,
but fucking Con Kelly, he's a tough fucking bastard taking those. And then obviously the 1, 2, 3. And then we are joined by the Freshness coming out and saying that they're gonna kick J Money's ass. That, you know, I love the J Money trying to keep, like, lads, it broke my heart to do that. Like, it's not me, it's you. Like, I don't want to have to send Liam to kick your ass, you know, because it's gonna break my heart, you know. Breakups are hard. With the whole time that Martin and fucking Liam are just fucking what, fucking sizing up to each other. Well, that's then where the fucking Liam Royale just comes into fucking play every fucking 2 seconds. Just but obviously then I think that's where they announced the tag tournament and that he would have a mystery tag team partner. So they go their separate ways, and then we have the tournament resuming. Obviously, as I said, Omari moved on to the finals. And we had Leighton Buzzard versus Mr. Matthew Bullet Smith. Carmo, do you want to take that one as well?
Yeah, 100%. So again, like the match actually started really, really well. So Matthew Bullet Smith just went in with the low blow and tried to get the quick out again, but Leighton Buzzard kicked out at 2. Again, over and back, like it was absolutely brilliant. Leighton Buzzard is a freaking star. He's one of the best wrestlers on the planet, if you ask me. Like, he's unbelievable. And like the way he can move his offense with that moonsault that he does off the top rope as well is just picture perfect. Like, it's unbelievable. But of course, Leighton picked up the victory and moved into the final.
And then we went straight into the finals, didn't we? Or
no? So what happened there was Leighton and Matthew Bullet Smith happened before the women's match.
Oh, so is that where I mixed it up? Okay.
That's why there was a bit of a break in between his match and the last match. In that match against Matthew Bullet Smith, he actually took a bit of a kind of damage to his knee as well, Leighton did. So that kind of led up to the final match as well, where he obviously still had that bit of injury to his knee.
Yeah. Which then we get to the finals of the Race to the Top, Omari versus Leighton Buzzard. And I know this is your match of the fucking night. I know it is. Do you want to take it?
Oh, 100%. So, like, I was there watching it back. I've actually watched the show back twice since we went to it and everything like that, to actually watch back this match and everything like that, because it's so weird. Normally at the end of a tournament and everything like that, you know, people are kind of, you know, fatigue is a thing and everything like this, but the pacing of the match, man, like, I don't want to go into anything like that too much, because I don't, you know, I'm not a worker or anything like this. I don't want to be disrespectful to talents or anything like that, pretend to know more than I do. But as a mark, the pacing of it was fucking excellent. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't long drawn out. It kept a fast but steady pace throughout. which really built to the intensity of it. Like, we could not call it, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I honest to God went into that expecting the final to be LJ and O'Mara. So when it was Leighton and O'Mara, like, you know, the call, you could throw it to the wind, like, do you know what I mean? My only thing is like, if you watch back the match and everything like that, if you watch back the first match that Mary had on the night, do you remember there was only two spots that there was like a small little miscommunication on them where they jumped like ring to ring against each other and everything like that? Like, it looked like O'Mara actually damaged his left knee earlier in the night and everything like that, because you can kind of like, I was looking at him like, and you know, if you've damaged your knee, and some of the spots that O'Mara was doing, man, like the strength in O'Mara, man, I don't know where he fucking keeps it, like, do you know what I mean? Because he's a bigger guy than I am, like, do you know what I mean? But he's like, has a slim build and everything. It's just picking him up and fucking him down, and I was actually just watching it like in real time when I was watching, just being like, how is he fucking doing this? Like, do you know what I mean? It was a match that has absolutely sold me on Leighton Buzzard, man. I am a Leighton Buzzard El Capitan fan through and through, and we were really lucky because we got to see him wrestle the next night as well. Like, but yeah, my match tonight for sure. I would hope if they're going to take any of the matches that have happened so far this year off of shows for the YouTube channel and stuff like that, I would be a big advocate for throwing that match up there. I thought it was one of the best OTT shows, or best OTT matches I've seen in person. It was fantastic. Like,
it was a fantastic match, which obviously O'Mara went over, becoming the network contender for the OTT World Title, which means we're going to get O'Mara versus Sammy 2, which I am all for that. But that was not all. So Sammy came out, shook both men's hand, kind of, you know, the two of them kind of setting up, you know, for the photo and for the video to get them staring down. And then Mr. J Money and Liam Royale come back out. And he starts talking about the tag tournament again and how, you know, they're going to be in it, and, you know, he's sure the draw will be there, and, you know, and then it's revealed, and I love this, and I should really post the video. I'm actually recording the promo that J Money's doing while also looking at the ring, because myself and Emmett, we knew. We were like, it's going to happen. Watch. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And then when he's like says like about his tag partner, and you just see O'Mara move, I went, there it is! I perfectly got the kick, and I was like, oh my god, it's happened. O'Mara turned heel after everything. All the fans, you know, going and turning on him. It was fucking brilliant. So well done. I didn't expect. We knew the heel turn was going to come at some point. I thought it was going to come after the match, in terms of like beating the shit out of Leighton Buzzard. I was not expecting to join up with J Money and Liam Royale.
very exciting stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we've been trying to call it for the last few weeks as to where this is all going to go, man, and you can't predict it. And it's especially now, like, we'll get into it in a few minutes, that the circumstances have changed for some of the matches coming up on Saturday. Like, I had an entire fan plot in my head that I thought was going to happen, which isn't going to happen now because of everything that's going on. And it's a really, really fun time to be following OTT because of it. Amari's got a fresh coat of paint now working as a heel, man. He's going to fucking knock the ball even more out of the park. Like, it's going to add so many more dimensions to him and stuff like that, because he spent over a year now showcasing in OTT how fucking amazing of an in-ring talent he is. You know, having people around him and stuff like that now to bring that other side of him out. Like, I can see O'Mara being a top-class cheeky prick as a heel, man, and I am all for it. Like, do you know what I mean? I will proudly wear my I Still Like O'Mara t-shirt right by the fucking front end, right by the barrier for that now going forward.
Are you going to miss hearing Rizzo kicks every time he comes out?
He could keep it. He could keep it. It would still work.
I don't think he will. It's a very, very babyface tune.
But it could be kind of like this irony thing, like, do you know what I mean? Where, like, do you know, he could come out smug as pricked it and everything and still dancing while people give him horrendous abuse. Like, I can see him changing it too. But, like, I don't know.
Just comes out to crawl.
That'd be hilarious. Mary, you know this is taken. Yeah, man, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm using this. Like, Sammy's like, no, like, you're not.
Play the fucking music. Shut the fuck up. But no, the show as a whole, I know everyone is. A lot of people are very up and down about it. There's a lot of negativity for the show. The way, and I said this to lads as you're walking out, and I was saying this as I walked out, waiting at the what's it called? Is it a Darla or fucking like the Lewis?
Lewis.
We're waiting at the Lewis before Debbie Keitel passed us. I was saying, like, it's a building show. Like, this was the first show after Scrappermania. all rivalries pretty much ended, bar what the Debbie Keitel and Session Moth. Like most rivalries ended, so they got to start doing new things. I understand that, like, yeah, there was a count out. Obviously, they weren't counting on a fucking injured Sean Guinness, and then the DQ and the Session Moth match being taken away. I get that. I still think the show as a whole was a solid 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed the night. I understood what the show was about as a building show for what's to come. So it was very good in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. At the time, with all the kind of false finishes and stuff, as we were watching it in person, I was kind of like, but then I kind of like, as we talked about on the commute home, I was like, I totally get this. Like, this makes sense. It's building block show and everything like this. Personally, then watching it back again, kind of having that extra bit of content or context, I should say, because of the post match bits and being able to see things, different angles and everything like that. Like, I'm really, really excited to see what's to come over particularly the next 3 months with OTT and stuff like that. Like, I am very, very excited for the 9th anniversary show and what's to come with that. Like, you can't predict what it's going to be. I'm having absolute amazing crack in my head, daydreaming during the day, being like, this will be the main event, but they tease this, so maybe it's going to be this. You know, you can't predict it, which is the best. When you can't predict what's going to be coming, that's when you know you're making absolutely great content. Like, do you know what I mean? Because it's so, wrestling nowadays could be so predictable at times. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we knew the Cody Roman thing was going to happen for months before it happened. We kind of know what's going to happen in WWE over the next few months, given, you know, the way that they format stuff. But like, OTT is so unpredictable at the moment, and that, like, do you know, like, I'd be waiting now, even though I won't be able to be in the show in person now on Saturday, like, I will be waiting to see the teaser for it on the demand, and like, I'll be watching it as soon as it's up. Like,
100%. I agree with the show as well. It was a brilliant show. I thought they did everything as spot on as they could. Like, obviously, as I believe Martin said there, the Max O'Guinness injury didn't help the show, but they moved on with it, and Will Smith took over the place. Like, the thing with OTTs that I find is a little bit different is you don't have that ability to kind of cut promos at every show, if that makes sense. You don't have that ability for Sammy or like Jay would say, Danny Cross for an example, to walk out and go, who wants to fight me for my title? And then run a 6-month story with that. You don't have that comfortability because it's one show every month. Do you know that kind of way? So I think for like a building show that they did, I think it's perfect. I think it's the best way they could have done it. They set up a rivalry between Liam Royale, Omari, and the Draw, which could go even further, and the Freshness, which could go even further if you add new people, if you add people to J Money's team, if you add people to the Draw, you could even add people to the Freshness team and turn it into a 3-way kind of rivalry.
Yeah,
I was thinking as much.
It was a solid show. But that, obviously, as we said, was a building show, and it was the building show to what is happening this weekend in the complex. And not only that, but happening in Belfast as well. So I believe the first 2 rounds are in Dublin.
Everything but the final.
Yeah, and the finals then is in the Europa in Belfast. Still an absolute solid night. I'm probably, as much as I really enjoyed the show, but I think the build to the tag tournament, I am fucking buzzing for Saturday. Well, for tonight when you're listening to this. Actually, it technically is on right now as we're. I should probably upload this on Friday, but we'll see what happens. The list of the teams are fucking stacked. So obviously we have, I think it's 8 teams again. Yeah, 8 teams again. So in the first rounds we have the Draw versus BDE, who I'm very excited to see debut. We have Renzo Rhodes, and at the time it was Ilya Zarkov, but that damn, I don't even know if it should be mentioned, that goddamn Austin Aries lookalike, and I'm standing by that. He absolutely hates it, but I'm standing by it. That absolute Austin Aries lookalike coming in, but he made such a great thing because with Ilya out due to smuggling in, I think was it cigars.
He got arrested.
He got arrested,
Got
and
arrested.
the Sem will be taking his place. So we get Semzo Rose, which I'm very, very excited about. So, Ty, thank you for that one. Much appreciated. Versus the Social Elite, who, unfortunately, that's who I'm going for. They're winning the whole tournament. Let's go, boys.
Okay, Joe, we'll actually start from the start. Go through the draw match again, and we'll give our predictions from there.
Okay. So, the first match of the night is the draw versus BDE.
The draw.
The draw. 100% the draw for that.
The draw. The boys. We'll go to the other side then. We have the Greedy Souls versus CPF. The Greedy Souls, who are brand new into OTT, versus Callum Newman, and I can't remember his name, but I apologize for that one. I'm going to go with CPF for that one. I think this time they'll give Callum a bit of a bit more to play with in this one.
I actually really like the look of the Greedy Souls. I really like the look of them. I know they've been wrestling a lot through kind of Wales and the UK and stuff like that. I really like the look of them. I reckon the Greedy Souls might take it.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know how to call this one. Like, do you know what I mean? It's very much going to be a showcase. True. No, it's going to be a showcase match. Like, do you know what I mean? It's a lot of imported talent and everything like that. Like, what was the name of Callum's team again?
CPF.
I would go with them just because Callum got showcased on the last show, and if he's been booked again for this, I could see him contending for the gender neutral title in a few months' time. Do you know what I mean? And like maybe some big showcase match like at Scrapper or Four-Way or something like that. So I'm going to go with them for that.
The next match then we have, as mentioned, will be Semzo Rose versus the Social Elite. But the issue we have here is Renzo is saying he will not return from Italy for this match. And then we have Sean Guinness, who has an injury. So some things could end up playing here. Obviously, Social Elite on this side, not going against them.
I'd agree, but my only thing is Guinness wrestled like 2 weeks ago, if not last weekend. Now, it was short. So, like, is he medically cleared for the weekend or not? Like, do you know what I mean?
I don't think he is. I don't think he is. I think he will wrestle, but I don't think he's 100%.
Well, Matthew Bullet Smith has done it before. He'll do it again, and the Social Elite will take the win.
What about what's the name of the fella who was managing?
Paul Tracy.
Paul Tracy. Paul Tracy's retired, I'd imagine.
I don't think he ever officially announced.
Could you see him coming into the ring?
Only if he swaps places with Matthew Bullet Smith. That's what I've said from the beginning. He has to wear Matthew Bullet Smith's attire, and Matthew Bullet Smith has to wear his attire.
Okay, right.
Just for my own comic relief.
Keep your own kinks to yourself. We're having a proper adult conversation here about the rest of the show, right?
Shut up, Merton. The kids are talking. The adults are speaking here.
I'm going to give 2 suggestions about that match. So, 1, Renzo doesn't show.
Yeah.
We need a new tag partner for Sen. What I would think would be unbelievable is one of 2 people. One person is currently doing a tour of the UK. I believe if he's not, he's doing it in the next week or 2.
Next week or 2.
And that's Scotty Tuhati.
Oh, that'd be savage.
And the other person, which I think is less likely to happen, but could, is Santino Marella.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because I saw online he's going to be in the UK this week as well. I don't know, was it for like training seminars or something like that? So every possibility, like, and he did say he wants to work with OTT more. So,
but if it is going to be Sam and Renzo, my prediction for the take in that match is the Sam and Renzo.
You guys,
I love Matthew Bullet Smith and I love the Social Elite, but I'm afraid I'm going to go for.
You guys are just not getting it. Just not getting it. Like,
oh no, I'm with you.
I get it, but.
I'm Social Elite for this one.
And then the final first round match, we have Omari, and at the time, Liam Royale, who is obviously now not medically cleared. So it's Omari and a mystery partner of Jay, that Jay Money apparently has had his eye on to bring to his little empire, we'll call it, versus the Freshness. And the possibility, if the Freshness lose, they are fired from OTT. Thank you, Ty, for that one, you dickhead.
Yeah, I don't get the firing thing. I don't see the freshness winning, unfortunately, but I don't get the firing thing. I understand they've been down on their luck a bit lately, but like if you look at those 3 matches, I think they had with Maxted and Sterling, like they're some of the 3 best tag team matches you'll watch in any promotion. As for who the mystery tag partner could be, a name that I'm going to throw out that I think would sit in that tag team quite well is Steve Savage.
How dare you?
I didn't even think of that. That's a great shout.
How dare you?
But for the win, it's going to be Omari and the mystery partner.
So for me, I think the partner is going to be the returning Scotty Davis, and I don't see the freshness winning, unless they pull out the biggest upset that night. I can't see the freshness going over. As much as I hate to say it.
I will say as well before Emmet said, I did say this earlier that there might be a slight chance that like Fabio might turn on Martin Steers and join J Money.
How fucking dare you?
These are all things that might happen.
What the fuck happens in your brain? So every person listening to this now has gone, Carmo's turned heel.
Do you know what? They won't be saying that if it happens.
Yes, they will. They'll say, "Oh, Carmo's even more of a prick for saying this."
You know what? I'll let you know the true story. I'm joining J Money.
Ah!
Could you please, like, over how good you are at fantasy booking, could you please, like, give yourself the name Booker C? Like, that'd be so perfect.
That name is already taken by someone else, so I'm not going to take it.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Sammy D, we coming for you.
Do you know, I do have, since Sammy's been brought up, I have a good take on this freshness thing that I can see happening, right? So obviously all of last year, Sammy and Joe were button heads. Sammy is now a face and everything like this. And I think I mentioned it on the Post Scrapper show that I could see Sammy working as kind of like a tweener, like he is a face, but he can, you know, do heelish things from time to time, because it's a very drastic shift to go from how much of a proper rotten prick of a heel he was to being, you know, the out and out good guy champ. So I do agree with, I see the freshness losing this weekend and everything like that, right? The end of the show, I'd imagine they're going to set up some form of a faction war between the Draw and J Money. We'll just call it J Money Enterprises for now, like all of the lads he's surrounded.
That's such a great money, J Money. It's not a great money. Great name, J Money. If you take that, we're suing your ass.
Yeah, it'll be like, fuck you, pay me for that patent. But,
I think that's what Elias said. Like, we're going to fight you. Fuck you, pay me.
Yeah.
But I think what's going to end up happening is at the end of the show, right? When, or maybe it'll be the end of the Belfast show, I'm not sure. But I do see the Kings of the North later joining that team and everything like this. And there's going to be a big attempt of beating down Danny Cross and Sammy. The freshness will come out, hoodies over the heads and everything, helping them out and everything. This, they'll all be outnumbered and everything. This, and they'll come and join them for like this big 8-man tag at a future show. And when Joe's just like, lads, you can't wrestle, you're not contracted to OTT. Sammy will be like, oh no, I contracted them myself. They're signed to the Draw. They're not signed to OTT. Telling you.
Smart.
I can see him doing it because him and Joe in storyline have been butting heads for a year. So they're not going to be best mates out of nowhere. He's got his world title. He's got to keep his world champion happy.
But he said he loves Joe.
Yeah, but you can love someone and be a prick to him too. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
look, I'm not a prick all the time, okay?
Just 99%.
But you know what's one issue I have with this tournament, and it's just going. I was going to bring this up, and I'm glad you brought up Steve Savage. You know what I see in the brackets of this tournament? All right, for each and every single match, I see no detachment, 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 no detachment. Where the fuck is the detachment?
I'll add one better. The fact that Terry Thatcher wasn't even on the OTT title tournament is an outrage for me.
110%. And you know,
I like the fact. This is the one thing that I'm going to say, and like I might get backlash for this and whatever. Like I'm all for Sammy Lee said that he's all about Irish talent. He's all about Irish and UK talent. He said that completely fine with it. I know you want to bring in new guys like RKJ and Callum Newman and stuff like that, but like you've so many good Irish talent that are being kept away at the moment that need, I believe, to be brought in, that need that opportunity. I know they've had the opportunity, some of them, but I still think they should have those opportunities. And Terry Thatcher for me is one of them.
I think the last time we saw the detachment was at the Road to Scrapper, which I think we kind of start to see some cracks in it.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish we had a continuation last number one. I'm a big detachment mark as well. I fucking love Steve Savage's work, Raven Creed, Terry Thatcher, and obviously they've got Noah Walker there, who's an absolute fucking monster. Have you seen that boy? I need more detachment in OTT. Joe Capri, book the detachment.
I
Why did you
wouldn't go
say
as
this
far
in
as
the
calling out
interview?
Joker Bray, but like
It's just an interview. Why don't you ask Liam Royale to come on here, huh?
You look right. I've went through one pair of jocks talking about that man. Don't have this many jocks to spare. I've got 3 good ones.
They're all from the Depp team as well.
Do you know what? No joke. All right. He loved me for saying this. Sarah Burns suggested that as merch from the Depths Underpants. From the Depths Underpants and from the Depths Lingerie. So
Oh, please,
the Freshmans
God,
did it. The
don't.
Freshmans did it.
Could you imagine just in that moment, just, what's that? Oh, it's just from the depths stuff I got. We need to see other people.
but it's just a G string like for a man.
Kevin, what are you wearing?
Oh man, this has turned into a fucking filthy episode already. Like Jesus Christ.
I'm actually going to do a plug for you. Here, Emma, but you've got the Monkfest coming up.
We do.
On Pharmacy. You can tell the dates and everything now if you want.
July 1st, Pharmacy. You'll miss a bit of money in the bank if you go to. That's the only thing.
Yeah, could you imagine a chicken doing the barbecue from the Deaf Street thing?
Oh, I do you one better actually to do with this podcast. He's going wearing his cane suit for the barbecue at Monkfest.
Nice.
He is going to cook alive for it. Like it's going to be fucking. Oh, I said it to him when he was just like, "Yeah, I'll do that." Like, and I was just like, "Man, the mask, the one piece." I was like, "You're going to collapse onto the barbecue after about an hour." Like, you know,
such good shit.
But he actually ends up melting it to his face.
But to leave off the tag tournament, obviously we're not going to predict the semi-finals and the finals. I have 2 questions. So one involves the semis because it leads into the next night. Obviously, the tag team champions, the Kings of the North, have the choice to pick a team who, I think, just a team that loses in the semi-finals as their opponents in Belfast. Who would you see getting to the semis and getting picked?
I think it's either Greedy Souls or is it CPF?
CPF.
I think it's one of the two.
I think it'll be either the Social Elite, or if somehow, some way, they get the job done and get to the semis, it'll be the Freshness. They got a bit of a motivational thing there. So
I'd agree with that. My big prediction is, I've been saying this since Road to the Top, since the O'Mari turn and everything like that, is I really see Kings of the North turning heel on this show. Even though it's in Belfast, they won't get booed. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe with the Freshness dynamic and stuff at the moment, they might get booed. It'd be very, very hard to get them booed in the North. But I could see them absolutely leveling the Freshness, like just an absolute, not a squash, but like dominating the fuck out of them, like properly manhandling them. And like, you know, at the end of it, they won't turn heel or anything during that point or whatever like this. But at the end of the show, when whoever does win the tag team tournament wins the tournament, they'll come out, level them with O'Mari and Jay Money and all that kind of crack. And that'll be the new faction formed. That's my overall main prediction. I'd be very, very surprised if Kings of North don't join that faction by the end of this weekend. Be very, very surprised.
And for myself, I think the team going over in the tournament is still the Social Elite.
I'd love it to be, but I'd say it is going to be the draw that's going to win it. Like, Because that's what's going to set up that closing moment in Belfast when they get the absolute shit leveled out of them and the freshness run out for the save and all this type of shit. Like, do you know what I mean? Mightn't be the freshness either, but
No,
The other thing as well that I just want to say as well is that Sammy D obviously cut a promo recently with Jay where he said that the Draw always have something up their sleeve. What is that thing that is up their sleeve?
well, Lemon already said it.
I think it's the
Did you?
freshness. I think it's
Oh,
the
sorry.
freshness.
Right.
Now, it mightn't be, but the only thing is that we were actually discussing this in our group chat yesterday is like Sterling and Maxted won't be able to go to the show because I know Maxted is working those kind of like club night things over in like Marbella or something at the moment. Sterling is booked in the UK. So, do you know what I mean? Like we were trying to figure this out. Are all the OG members of the draw going to be back in OTT? Are they going to have to get new members into the draw? Like, do you know what I mean? It's really up in the air at the moment, which is what I love because I can't call it. Like, do you know what I mean?
That's it. Like, 100%.
It'll be very interesting to see on Saturday what actually happens. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm very disappointed that we're not going to know obviously the final result until maybe like Wednesday, when we watch it back. But I'm so I like I said before we started talking about this, I think they've built this so well. I'm so excited for this tag team tournament.
Big time.
And how it's going to play out, especially with all the little twists. You got the twist with the draw, got the twist with Semzo Rose, the social lead, Liam Royale being gone now. You know, the possibility of the freshness being fired. You know, it's going to be a very, very interesting night on Saturday. So,
100%.
110%. It's going to be class. I'm actually more excited for this show than I was for Scrapper, which is saying an awful lot. Just with the potential. It is, but it's just like this show is really going to dictate what's going to happen narrative wise for the next few months, which is I'm like, you know, I'm a big sucker for a good story, like, you know what I mean? And I just know there's a big faction more about to happen in OTT. And look, it's a long time since OTT have done a multi-man cage match, and I can really see that happening midsummer this year. Maybe a Poetry Slam in July if they go ahead with that. Imagine J Money Enterprises, this new version of the draw, 8-man cage match, man. Kings of the North were in an 8-man cage match, or maybe a 6-man cage match a few years ago in a National Stadium show. I think no, it wasn't. It was I can't think the name of it. But the 7th anniversary show was it's lost to me, but they were on a multi-man cage match. That man, OTT could do it again. I'd be there with bells on if they did it, man. I think it'd be a sick match, no, regardless of who's in it. Like,
not a bad prediction. Not a bad prediction.
I'm telling you, and when I said this the first time about a month ago, people were like, no, it's not going to happen.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Who
Who the fuck is this guy?
But you know, I see it perfectly, like, do you know what I mean? And it's, do you know, like, not every show, like we've seen this over the last few months, not every show needs a world title defense, and it means a lot more when they're sparing too. So, like, do you know, you need a breather between this show and when Omari and Sammy go at it for the second time, which is very likely to be Irish match of the year the second time they go around, because the first one was perfect. But like, that'd be a savage spot. Like, that'd be a savage match to do, because then, you know, you could have the following month is going to be Sammy Omari too. And then with how much damage both boys take during that multi-man cage match, if there's weapons and stuff involved, there's a big thing throughout it. It's either man at 100%, and they have to really, really push it an extra limit for the rematch. Like, do you know what I mean?
100%.
100%. That's a good bold prediction.
I actually book OTT now.
Yeah.
I changed my name to Joe.
How we lads takes off the mask, muscles just appear.
Yeah.
But before we end off this episode, now there is obviously more shows other than just OTT and stuff like that. And I know he's not come prepared at all. But Carmo, we've got some RCW shows coming up. We've got NLW. I think they're doing a Royal Rumble. I think what's that? That you.
So RCW, I believe, is June 10th. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Is correct. Hooked on a Feeling.
NLW is July 2nd, which is a 20-man battle royal, plus Danny Cross plus Sammy D versus Max O'Gina, and I believe it's Danny Cross versus LJ Cleary. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You were at the show.
Yeah. Hard Knocks is July 31st, which is quite a long way yet, but yes, July 31st, I believe.
I could be completely wrong. So, It's
I
whatever
think
Sunday
it's
is.
21st.
But anyways, that will be a fucking banger of a night. Again, guys, if you haven't been to Hard Knocks, it's my favorite promotion here. No, it's gonna be the 30th because the 30th is a Sunday.
Yeah, 30. No, it's always on the Sunday.
Yeah, the 30th.
Oh, is that 30?
Yeah, yeah. That'll be absolute banger of a show. Another absolute banger of a show will be the RCW Hooked on a Feeling. You've got fucking 3 big matches. LJ Cleary and Charlie Sterling. So he is coming back, Emma. Don't you just calm down a bit, okay?
My pints are afraid now.
Which I'm gonna do everything to get us all down there. I think that's gonna be a fucking banger of a match. You got Danny Cross versus Leighton Buzzard. Come on, Emmet. That's gonna be a banger.
Mine Knickers.
You got Raven Creed versus Emmett's favorite, Royden O'Connor, as he calls it. So that's the guy from the first Hard Knocks show that you got really pissed off about because he came out, and I quote, with a pint of Ribena, acting all drunk.
Oh yeah, fuck that guy. He did his job well. That's how you piss me off now. Pretending to be drunk with a pint of Ribena. Jesus Christ. Fucking leave it off. Leave it off.
That's how you piss me off. Do your job well.
Yeah, exactly. So he is really, really good at his job.
And then they have Dino in action as well, I believe, in an open challenge, with obviously more matches to be announced.
I fucking love Powerful Dino. I fucking love him.
Dino in the Kino. Cannot wait for that. Again, that's on June 10th. And guess what, guys? We're going to have an interview coming up on next week's episode. And I'm going to jinx it now, and it's not going to happen because I've talked about it. But we are going to have the one of RCW's commentator, Mr. Luke Barry, on here with the chance to win 2 tickets to that RCW show as well. Ooh.
And it's not uncommon for people that run these competitions to win them. So
I was just going to say, man, you might as well announce me as the winner now.
And so it's a rigged competition where you have to be a 5Mark member.
No, it's not. It's going to be pure fair. No questions asked. It's going to be very fair.
So do look forward to that one. The RCW show is going to be a load of fucking fun. As soon as those 2 fucking matches, not even 2 matches, 3 matches were announced, I was fucking set. Especially once Leighton Buzzard, Danny Cross was announced, I was like, I'm fucking set. And obviously we set the 20-man Royal Rumble at NLW on July 2nd. Hard Knocks on July 3rd. July's going to be a fucking busy month. July and June. Holy fuck.
As well as that Ultimate Contenders is on.
Yeah, which that'll be fun, especially if you are a wrestler in training. Because I think, is it like a 2-day camp or a 1-day camp?
Yeah, so they're doing a 2-day camp, beginners and I believe it's like intermediate experience type thing. On the Friday and the Saturday, they're setting up 2 rings in the National Stadium. Plus, they have the Contender Show then on the 4th. So, if you've been wrestling for a while, or if you haven't even been wrestling for a while, it's a great opportunity to go up and do some training with the OTT.
And if you haven't been wrestling training at all, one great place you can go learn from some great absolute people is the Hard Knocks Pro Wrestling Gym, who have 2 great things going on. One being the beginners open night. I think that happens not every Tuesday, but they announced it's a Tuesday type event. €15.
I think it's every second Tuesday. I could be wrong.
It might be every second Tuesday because the next one's the same thing. Every second Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. in the Hard Knocks Gym. So that's for people pretty much who are looking to start. If you live in the Limerick area or close by, 100% jump on that. Mr. Carmo jumped on it and he could preach how good the school is.
It's excellent. It's excellent. And they'll welcome you in with a warm heart. And if you have been even looking at it and seen people train before, and there's something that you're not comfortable with, you don't necessarily have to do it on your first time trying. You can wait and even go into it gently and kind of figure it out. So there's no pressure on you at all to do anything that you don't want to do.
Exactly. And another thing as well, if you're kind of going, I don't really want to take part in the beginners night, and I don't know how the trainers are going to be and other things. Another thing they do, which I believe is every 2 weeks now, every Wednesday I believe it is, Mr. Niall Foxy Fox comes to Limerick to do a quick training seminar, I believe from 6 to 8. I think that's 15 as well. That is every 2 weeks. And the thing is, it's not just referee training. He has promos. He'll teach you little things in the ring. Everything. Like, and Niall is a great... I really need to get my shit together and get down there. But that's a different story. A whole fucking different thing going on, which is pissing me the F off. But 100% check out the Hard Knocks school, because they've got 2 great events going on. And just know terms and conditions apply. If Mr. Robbie Mack comes after you, chops you, hurts you in any sort of way, I'm not held responsible for what Rob does.
Yeah, call him names and run away. It's fine. You won't hurt him.
I mean, that's what I did. I got a chop for it.
I'm sorry, Rob. I'm sorry. If you're listening to it, I do apologize.
He is listening to it. And I'm going to get another message on the 5Marks account now going, "You fucking bastards! You're getting...
This when he's a groundskeeper, will he, like?
Hey, you Martin's getting another fucking chop."
Just here's the dig. Grease me up, woman.
For all this now, Rob is going to have to get his own episode. We're bringing Rob on for an episode. We have to.
I'd love to. And as well, more things you could expect from us as well. Obviously, Hard Knocks up in July. We're going to have some more, like we did before, Hard Knocks guys coming on the podcast very, very soon. So do look out for that one. It's going to be a fun time for the 5Marks. And not just that, in 4 weeks, we will have the anniversary episode where Emmet is going to tell me how great I have done on the podcast. Don't tell me how great I've done now. Tell me how great I've done in 4 weeks.
And to hear that in full in real time, subscribe right now to patreon.com/Martin Milky McMahon Sensations. I had to get it in somewhere.
Rob, if you're listening, would you mind chopping somebody for me? Cheers.
Do you know what? I was going to say a Milky reference earlier now, but like you did do a very white thing by censoring yourself earlier. I am pissed. My gosh darn it, I am pissed the F off right now.
Did I censor myself like that? Oh my, I didn't even notice it. I think it's just because of being a fucking work.
Gee willikers, he has really rattled my cage.
Suffering succotash. But fun times coming up with the podcast. We're going to absolutely enjoy the absolute shit out of it. As well as that, I had something in my head because oh yes, make sure you follow the socials. 5Marks Pod on Twitter, 5Marks Podcast everywhere else, Instagram, YouTube. Make sure you check out the YouTube channel. I believe the Joker Brave episode is like over 100 views now, which is crazy. Thank you so much for that.
That's really good.
It was a very fun interview to do. And yeah, look forward to more fun things. And make sure you do not check out From the Depths.
From the Depths is back June 6th.
And that's all of our time. Thank you for joining us.
No. I'm going to give him his plug. Go on, take your plug.
June 6th, From the Depths comes back. July 1st, Monkfest Pharmacy. There's going to be 6 bands. It's all for Milford Street Children's Hospital. Martin won't be there because Martin hates sick children, I should say. He'll be in the hospital causing untold damage, but we're going to be raising funds for him all the same.
I see your money and I raise you a fucking baseball bat.
No, it's not a baseball bat. He's literally just swinging toddlers at me like as he walks down the road. Like, you know when Hulk has the fucking
has
Loki and he's just where did you even get him from? Oh, I don't know.
And if you go to Monkfest, you can meet Martin outside Chicken Hut for a free bottle of milk after the show.
I'll be joined by Gallicini.
That'd be so. Can we please get that
photo? No.
Please. Oh.
But lads, I'll let you have your final words. Say something. God.
No.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
I'll probably do the outro. So.
Oh, he's always gonna do the outro. It's the one gimmick he has on this podcast at the moment.
And like the Billy Gunn of the group.
If we don't let him do it, he gets sad. Okay.
Scissor me, Daddy.
You guys have no idea. You guys have no idea how sad he was not to do it last week with Joker.
I know, I was actually quite upset.
But again, guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. Have a fun weekend at OTT. Mr. Carmo, take it away.
Thank you all for joining us again on another episode of the 5Marks. I was actually going to say From the Depths podcast there. Thank you for joining us on another week of the 5Marks Pro Wrestling podcast. But for this week, we are officially ding, ding, done.
Woo!